Hello my friends, thanks for stopping by. I hope you're all having a great day. Today's video is going to be a sample Sunday or possibly Saturday, not sure which day I'm putting them up. But this video, I'm bringing back the sample Sunday because so many of you expressed to me that you really miss my sample Sunday videos. So here I am to do a sample Sunday, which may be Saturday. We don't know which day. But anyway, you can pretty much count on a sample video at least once a week. As far as my Healthy Zone videos, I know many of you miss those. Also, those are a little more difficult to do, but I will try to put up at least 1 to 2 a month of those on the weekends. And I can't tell you when that's going to start, but I will eventually be throwing some of those back into the mix. But for today, I am going to be sampling. And for those of you that are new to my channel, Sample Sunday was always about me getting samples of whatever product and trying it on my skin or, well, on my skin, yeah, demonstrating the product, giving you a little blurb about it, and then in the end, giving you my first impression of it. So, today's is going to be, and it can be high-end, mid-range, or low-end. Now, there aren't many drugstore products that are sampled, and I shouldn't say low-end, I should just say very expensive to more affordable. But anyway, there aren't many drugstore companies that sample their products, so I can't always find them. Now, there will be occasions, and today is one of those, when there may be a product that I just really am interested in and know I will like, or I've just really read great things about it and I go ahead and buy it, and then I'll still sample it for you. So for today, the first one I'm going to put on will be the Problem Solver, but I'm going to follow it up with the Honey Mud, using it as a mask because I do have very dry skin. I do like to really clean my skin out, but sometimes a clay mask can be a little drying for those of us that are drier. But I like the pulling action to really detoxify, purify, and fight blemishes if you should have any. Excuse me, I still have a little tickle in my throat. So anyway, that is why I do like to use a mud mat. But because I am very familiar with masks and how my skin reacts to them, I have learned a way to really be able to use the best of both worlds. So we will follow up today with this, but I will tell you that in the past, I have been using a clay mask by Abeille James, and this is called Geisha or Geisha. I'm going to ask Abeille how it's pronounced because you know, so many people love to correct you here on YouTube. But anyway, Geisha, and this is the Rose French Clay mask, and it is in powder form, just like the Lindstrom. And what I do with it is I will take my Guerlain Abeille Royale Honey Mask, and I will sometimes mix it right into the clay mask and then apply it. And then I'm getting the best of both worlds, the detoxifying, purifying, but yet with the honey being a humectant, I'm getting the moisturization, and honey is also antibacterial, so it's still doing a lot of that cleansing too. And so I have done that in the past. Now for a more affordable clay mask, you can go and get some clay mask at your grocery store or health food store or online. I will put links below for everything. And this is just the Moroccan red clay powder. Now there are different types of clays, and they will all give you a description of what skin type they're best for. But if you wanted to try something, but there's no way you could afford the Lindstrom or even the Abeille James, you could go and buy yourself a clay mask and some Manuka honey. And you can either mix them, or you could do the clay mask first and then just spread a thin layer of the Manuka honey on your face, and it will work. I can't say it'll work the same because I haven't tried the Lindstrom, but you do get wonderful results from it. You have to remember, at one time in my life, I was a very young girl and I had such a fascination with skincare and wanting to do all of it, but I was not able to financially, so I found ways to work around it. And there you have 2 other options. But let's get started on today's. Okay, we're first I'm gonna cut through the description part of it, and I'll talk about it as I'm applying it. But I will tell you that the Lindstrom products are all organic. and the ingredients are organic or wild harvested. She prepares each product, and each product, which I think is really wonderful. The packaging is exquisite. The box alone is beautiful. But each package, it comes in a very dark jar. The jar actually looks black, but it is that cobalt blue color. It is simply beautiful. And it is, you get a lot of product in here. This is 8.45 fluid ounces or 250 ml of powder. And it is $90 for this. And the powder, all the ingredients are kept protected until you put water in them, then they activate. There's nothing going on in this jar except the powder is sitting there and it is protected by the darkness. It smells wonderful. Just opening it up, it smells wonderful. Anyway, that's what's really nice about it, is you don't have a jar of activated clay in here already that you have to get through before it dries up on you or such. So, let's get going. The instructions, now this is another thing through experience, the instructions say, usually on a clay mask, equal parts. I never do equal parts. I always do less water to begin with because you can always add more. So the instructions on the May Lindstrom, the problem solver, says to take 1 tablespoon, and I did not buy the May Lindstrom little jar and her brush because I have so many brushes. I just use, this is designated to my clay mask, and it's, you can find one at Sally's for like $1, and it's just a plastic hair dye container. But don't use anything else in it, and always sterilize it when you're done. I always take some rubbing alcohol, just really cleanse it out well, and there's some very hot water and rinse it. And it's ready for my next mask. So this is what I use. If you want to buy the May Lindstrom, go right ahead. I'm sure it's quite lovely. I'm going to take 1 tablespoon of the mask. Now I'm going to tell you one thing I've also learned with masks. Don't hold them close to your face when you're measuring them because the powders will come up and you'll inhale that and it's not always comfortable. So I'm going to take a tablespoon and I'm going to level this off, and I'm just going to use the cap to level it off. Unfortunately, you won't be able to see me doing that because it's down here. But you don't need more of the mask. 1 tablespoon leveled is perfect, all right? So we're going to put it into our container, and like I said, today I'm going to use it as the instructions say, using a little less water, but sometimes I will just mix the honey mask right in with it with a little bit of water. But today I'm going to take some water, and I'm going to start out with a ½ tablespoon. I'm not going to put the full in, it may be too thin then, so you can always add more. So we're going to add about a ½ tablespoon of water, and we're going to put it in. Now for a brush, I just save all the brushes. If I get a sample of a foundation brush, this is a Chanel. This came with another mask, and this came with another mask, as this one did, but just use a foundation brush. You can go buy any inexpensive foundation brush in the drugstore and use it, but I'm going to use this one for now. So I have my water in here and my mask. Again, do not hold it close to you when you're mixing. Slowly incorporate it, making sure that the powder and the water all mix together slowly at first, and then you can whip it up. This is, now that I've added the water, all of the wonderful ingredients, which I will talk about in a minute, will become active. So we're, boy, you can really, I know there's cloves in here. Well, I read that there's cloves in here. You can really smell the cloves. Cloves are very strong. Okay, I have a little bit of a thickness here, so I'm going to just put a touch more water, not too much. But you want to make it so it's thin enough to spread, but not so thin that it drips. So I'm just going to put another, just a hair in there, and we'll keep working until I get at the texture that I want. And you'll know, you don't want to have clumps of dryness in there. So make sure that you really mix it well, and you'll get like a light textured mousse that you'll be able to spread easily. And I'm just going to put a hair more. So it's probably 3/4 of a tablespoon. Okay, and that should make it a perfect consistency, and it does. It makes it really, really perfect. Now, a lot of the product will go inside the brush, so I smash the brush down, making sure that I'm getting all the powder incorporated into the water. All right, so now with a clay mask, and especially this one, because this one does have some warming ingredients to it, which are in the form of cinnamon, cloves, nutmeg, and cayenne pepper. And because of that warming, those warming ingredients, that helps to just stimulate circulation to the epidermis. And when you do that, imagine it as if you're exercising. And when you exercise, you really get flushed. You're in a way flushing toxins out of your skin. Your skin usually looks better an hour later because you've just had that circulation going. So it's the same idea with all of the warming ingredients that are in here. Okay, so I've got the mask perfect, just perfect the way I like it. So now what I'm gonna do, I don't really want it to stick to my lips, so I'm just gonna take some of a lip balm, and I have a By-Terry lip balm that I use with a lot of my masking. I'm just going to go ahead and put that on my lips. If you're not sure how good you will be at applying it, you may want to put a little bit of balminess around your eyes, but I'm not going to. All right, so let's get started, and while I'm applying it, I'll tell you a little bit about it. I already told you the size and the price. I told you some of the ingredients. So now let me just skip them a little less. Don't wear good clothes. And don't wear one of these if you plan on using it and you want it to look pretty, because this is the one I use for only masking, and around the edges it looks dirty, but it is washed because they stain. Okay, so I have a mirror in front of me, so I will be looking down at the mirror because I do want to see where I'm placing this. So it's on the brush, okay? So we're just gonna go ahead and apply. So, all right, this, I forgot to, there's also no fillers or preservatives in this line, okay? So I'm just gonna pay attention to what I'm doing here, get it right up to the scalp line, and see how it glides on so easily, and you're not really pulling or you don't have any clumping. Okay. So now I'm gonna go down my T-zone, because my T-zone is where I really want a lot of that pulling action. So the main ingredients in this, there is raw cacao, which acts as an antioxidant. There's also bamboo charcoal, which works at healing the skin. And I mentioned all the cinnamon, cloves, and nutmegs, and cayenne that act as your warming ingredients and helping the circulation of the skin. It has some turmeric in it. It has red sea salt in it. This really goes on nicely, very nice. It's the perfect consistency with 3/4 of a tablespoon. There's also some marshmallow root in here. There are essential oils, which I know some people take issue, but I don't. I love essential oils. And, okay, look what you're doing, Tammy. Okay. You can actually smell some of them. There's lavender in here, there's frankincense, there is vitamin C in the form of ascorbic acid, there's Rausu clay in here. But the main ingredients that you really smell are the warming spices, and let's do here, better look what you're doing, the warming spices and the cacao. There will be, because of the warming spices, there will be a warmness and a tingling. You don't have to put a really thick layer on, so that's why don't use more than the instructions say. A tablespoon is plenty. I actually might tweak it a little bit to use less of the product because I have a pretty good layer on my face already here. All right, I'm gonna get right up here. Since I put that balm on, it's not gonna pull on my lips. So I'm gonna get right around the lip area. Okay. It's a very light moussey texture. That's how I could describe it. Light moussey texture. Okay, so I think I need to point out you have to let this sit for 45 minutes or until it's dry. Since it's my first time doing this, I don't know how long it's going to take to dry. Of course, I'm not going to sit on camera the whole time. Okay, so I need to make this very clear. Because it does have cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, and cayenne pepper, which are all very warming, which I can feel the sensation of them right now. I have said a million times before, when you're using skincare, some products do promote a tingling and a warming, but there is that fine line where it changes to painful. If you cannot tolerate it, you need to take it off your skin. If your skin is burning and where it's uncomfortable, remove it immediately and then put a cool cloth over your face. Now, I know what to expect with this mask with some of the ingredients. It's like if you eat cinnamon and nutmeg and cloves, whatever you're eating it in, there's that warming effect. You know, it doesn't necessarily warm your throat, but it's got that warm taste to it. I don't know how to describe it, but I'm sure many of you will understand. It's like when you have a chocolate Italian spice cookie. It's not a crisp, fresh tasting cookie. It's very almost smoky in its flavor, but not smoky like barbecue. I don't know how to explain it, but I think many of you will catch my drift, all right? So, if you have extremely sensitive skin, I'm not sure if this product is sampled anywhere for you to try it before you buy it. That may be some research that you may want to do yourself. But if you are extremely sensitive, especially to feel, you might want to go the extra distance and try to find and see if somebody is sampling it. I don't know if Lindstrom, she's a very hands-on, she handwrites everything. She's very much like Beautylish, you know. Just really, I think her customer service is really, really, really above and beyond. I did purchase this from Beautylish, and I can't say enough about Beautylish. They are phenomenal with customer service. So you may want to try to talk to somebody there and see if they have a little sampling system that they can send you. I'm not sure that they do. That could be a very expensive thing for them to do, but you never know. It can be purchased, like I said, at Beautylish, Lindstrom's site herself, and I also think Barney's of New York. I will put all the links below for you so that you can go and read up on this yourself. Now let me just give you a little bit of feedback of what I'm feeling right now. It is a very warm sensation. It is not a burning sensation. There's just a heat to it, which is, I think, feels good. But, and that's another thing, you need to be able to distinguish your own personality. With this warming, is this something you just know you couldn't stand on your skin? It doesn't mean you're sensitive to it, you just couldn't stand it. So if that's something that you know about yourself, you don't want to go and get this mask. But I can feel the pulling, which really makes me feel good, because now in the summer, I will focus my T-zone using this mask alone. Other times I will mix it in with the honey mask, and I'll use regular honey or I'll use the Lindstrom honey. I can feel the pulling. So when we're outside in the summer, we're using sunscreen, we're sweating more, we have dirt and grime around us more. Some of us do gardening. When you're done gardening, you notice there's all that dirt on you. You don't even realize it's getting on you, but it does. That's when I really like to decongest those pores. I like to really pull. So something like this would be fabulous. Also, this is not going to change your pore size, but you can feel the tightening already. The warming sensation, I would say, on a 1 to 10, for me, is about a 6, 7. I can really feel it, but not uncomfortable. My eyes aren't watering, I'm not in any pain, I'm not stressing, I'm not distressed. Okay, so I'm gonna go the 45 minutes, and I'll be back to remove this and let you know how I felt, and then we'll move on. This is going to be a little longer sample Sunday. Usually I keep them under 15 minutes, but because I'm doing 2 products and I think there's a lot to be said about a mask like this, it's going to be a little longer because I want to put the honey over to really add some moisture back into my skin with the honey mask, which is a humectant, which is drawing moisture for my skin. Okay, so I'll be back. All right, my friends, I'm back, and it actually took about 25 minutes for this mask to dry down. There's just like a tiny little patch here that's still damp, but we're gonna go ahead and remove it now. So the way I remove a mud mask, usually I'm over at my sink, but for video purposes, it works out much better this way. If I were at my sink, I would take a cloth, microfiber, I would put I would make sure that it's like sopping wet, and I would lean over and I would just hold the water into my skin, and you're using warm water, not hot, not cold. Never use extreme waters on your skin. It's just not good for you. So I will use very warm. First, let me get the hair. I'm sure it's something from Bindi. All right, so these are warm. I'm going to take them. They're just towels that I buy at like TJ Maxx, whatever. Whenever I see a microfiber towel like this, I just buy them for my skincare. I'm going to wrap it, hold it on the whole face. Here I am, hold it on your whole face, just to moisten the mud. And then we're going to swipe. We're going to just lightly rub to catch all the mud, because mud masks are messy. So don't wear anything nice. See how they get really dirty? It comes off fairly good. So I'm going to turn this inside out now. And I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to focus into the middle. And I'm going to go ahead, go over my lips. Okay, so I have removed all of the mask. My skin still has a slight tingling action going on. Throughout the whole mask, it never got uncomfortable for me. You could feel the strong pulling. Let me grab my little mirror over here. I just want to take a look at my pores. Remember, we're not changing pores here, but you'll be able to see if it cleaned out. And it did. Wow, it did. They are as refined as they are ever going to be. It looks great. My skin feels like a little baby's behind. It actually feels very good. I'm hoping that in the camera you can see some difference. It looks bright. It feels, like I said, very soft. Still a tingling going on. So now, because my skin is dry, I want to go ahead and I want to replenish it. So my skin is dry. You don't want to do the stamp. You want to have it dry. And I'm going to go ahead with the Lindstrom Skin The Honey Mud, which is a gentle enzyme that can be used as a cleanser or a mask. Using it as a mask, it would be for 20 minutes. So let's see what it looks like. So it is a pudding-like texture. Ooh, it smells fabulous. I can definitely smell vanilla essential oils in there. Frankincense and myrrh, but those are two of my favorites, so that's why I can pick them out. And it has the raw honey in it, which raw honey does have a smell, so you can smell it. So, okay, we're done smelling it and getting, feeling like we want to eat it. So now, this is what I'm going to do. Again, I'm going to go ahead and put some lip balm on my lip, although the honey on your lip would not matter. This is just something I do. I think it's kind of like my mask. And again, this is just the By Terry lip balm. It's a nice lip balm. It's not glimmer. All right, so these little spatulas that you get with skincare, don't throw them out. These are good for things like this. I don't like to dip my fingers in these, and I don't like to leave them open very long. I get what I need, I get out, and I close them up. But I'm going to take a little bit of this, about that much. I hope you can see that, because it is a very neutral color. Maybe a hair more. We can always go back in and get more. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it all over my face. Now I'm not going to use a brush with this one because honey is thicker. It has a tendency to grab onto the brush hairs and stay there. So I'm going to go ahead and just massage it into my fingertips a little bit. Not rub it in, just warm it up slightly. And then I'm going to go ahead and pat it on my face. And this one here again is organic and it's wild harvested. It's free of all preservatives and there's no fillers in it. I need a little bit more. See, we can always go back and get more. There are no fillers in this product. And let me just warm that up again. Okay. So we have raw honey, which is antibacterial and humectant, which I've already told you. There is halloysite clay in this, which purifies and detoxifies. There's also something called, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but I remember when I was researching for my hives that this was something that was suggested that I take internally. So I went and got a bottle of it and took it, but it did not do anything for the highs. And it's called Colloidal Silver, I think. Colloidal Silver. And that's an antibacterial, antifungal. It promotes healing, as does honey. This also has some macadamia nut oil in it. And like I said, I can smell the vanilla essential oil, a little bit of the sweet orange, and cacao oil. So this one here as a mask, we're just going to leave on for 20 minutes, and I have just a thin layer around my face. We'll leave this on for 20 minutes. Jar. It has 3.38 fluid ounces, 100 ml for $80. It's like a beautiful smelling cream. I'm hoping that it really, really works. I'm very impressed with the first mask that I did. The name always escapes me on this one. The Problem Solver. I'm really, really impressed with this. Again, there's a lot of product in this jar. You'll get many uses. And like I said, play with the formula. You don't need to use a full tablespoon of it. If you're just doing spot areas, you just want to use like a teaspoon of it with a half teaspoon of water. Just do your nose area and right where your pores really get clogged so far. So I'm going to let the 20 minutes go on this, and we'll be back to remove this to see if my skin is glowing and soft like a baby's behind. Right, my friends, I'm back. I have left the honey mask on for 20 minutes. I will tell you that the honey mask went to work right away in calming my skin from that tight, warming sensation. My skin feels absolutely normal now. So I'm just going to take my little microfiber mitts, and they are wet, and I'm going to just go ahead. I'll start with my eyes, even though I didn't put any on my eyes. And I'm just going to give a really quick brush over all of my skin. A lot of people say, oh, don't pull, don't pull, don't pull. I'm not really pulling on my skin. Everything on the camera is exaggerated. So rest assured that I am treating my skin in the most gentle way, all right? All right, my skin feels fabulous. I'm hoping that the camera picks up how good it feels in the way it looks, if that makes sense. I'm hoping that it looks as good as it feels. That's what I'm trying to say to you. I am so glad that I went ahead and made this purchase. I really thought about it for a long time. I really have been watching the May Lindstrom on Beautylish for a long time. And then I decided, I went on the May Lindstrom site and I really just, looked around, and then I watched a few interviews with her, and I was just really impressed. I'm really liking the Sunday Riley, the Drunk Elephant, and the May Lindstrom now. I don't know, my skin is just responding to them so well. And I'm at a time in my life when my hormones are just depleting, and this is when you start having a lot of skin problems, and I'm not experiencing them. Hopefully I won't, but I ramp up my skincare game. I really do. I know a lot of you think I'm excessive, but it's worked for me. So I'm going to continue with what I do, and I hope that some of the things that I bring you on Sample Sunday will be products that you may be looking for, and if we find some duds in the crowd, we won't waste our money on them then, okay? All right, so let us know in the comments if you are using the May Lindstrom lines. I want the jasmine spray, and yes, I want the blue cocoon. I actually have the blue cocoon in my basket several times, and it is very, very, very expensive. So I thought I would start out with some of the products to see if I really like them. So as I dwindle away with some of my other products, you may see the blue cocoon down the road for me. I know many of you are already using it, and I'm just looking forward to that, but I also want the jasmine. So let us know in the comments what May Lindstrom products you're using. Oh, my skin feels so fabulous. It really does. And I have no moisturizer on, and there's no taut type feeling, and I just did a clay mask. That's amazing to me. So let us know in the comments what you're using. Do you use mud masks? Have you ever thought of adding honey to them to perhaps make them a little more comfortable for your skin? And with my Sample Sundays, I hope that you pick up tips and you learn something, and you also, I help you when you go to the store in picking out your skincare products or your makeup products. All right? Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget, subscribe. We're anti-aging here. Be happy, healthy, beautiful, and most of all, my friends, lovable. I love you all. Bisous.